deep within the mist-covered mountains and dense forests of Japan, where human footsteps rarely reach, there exists a name passed down through centuries: Tengu. They are never purely demons nor fully divine beings. Tengu exist in a blurred boundary, where morality, power, and human arrogance are constantly tested. The most familiar image of a Tengu is a humanoid figure wearing ascetic robes, with a red face, sharp eyes, and an unnaturally long nose. Yet behind this strange appearance lies a story far more complex than that of a simple mountain demon. In early Buddhist texts that arrived in Japan, Tengu were not depicted in human form. Instead, they were described as malicious spiritual entities that disrupted monks and led practitioners astray from the path of enlightenment. The word Tengu itself originates from the Chinese Changgu. The heavenly dog. A destructive creature associated with disasters and celestial omens. However, as this concept blended with Japan's indigenous beliefs, the image of the Tengu began to change. They were no longer merely forces of chaos, the beings that dwelled in the high mountains. Places believed to be rich in spiritual energy and separate from the human world. In Japanese culture, mountains have always been seen as liminal spaces between mortals and gods, and Tengu became guardians of that boundary. There are two main types of Tengu commonly referenced in folklore. The first is Karasu Tengu, crow-like beings with beaks and black wings, symbolizing wild instinct and keen observation from above. The second is Dei Tengu, the long-nosed, human-like Tengu, often portrayed as leaders, teachers, or punishers within legends. What makes Tengu truly unsettling is not brute strength, but intelligence combined with pride. Many folktales suggest that Tengu were once powerful monks or skilled warriors who fell from grace due to excessive arrogance. After death, they transformed into Tengu. The exaggerated long nose is believed to symbolize an inflated ego. Pride that has grown beyond human limits. In traditional stories, Tengu often test humans. They mislead woodcutters in forests, cause travelers to lose their way, or secretly teach swordsmanship to young warriors. Not out of kindness, but to observe how that power is used. Those who maintain humility survive. Those consumed by ambition and pride suffer the consequences. Several legendary samurai are said to have learned sword techniques from Tengu, but such knowledge always came at a cost. Tengu do not grant power freely. They see humans not as disciples, but as experiments. Measuring character rather than skill. Within popular Buddhist belief, Tengu occupy a contradictory role. They are seen as obstacles to enlightenment, yet also as living warnings. They remind practitioners that discipline alone is not enough. Absolute humility is essential. Even a slight deviation of the heart can lead to downfall. Over time, Tengu evolved into more complex figures within Japanese culture. They are not entirely evil. In some regions, Tengu are revered as mountain guardians, protecting forests from human exploitation. Certain shrines even display Tengu masks as symbols of vigilance and balance. This reflects Japan's unique relationship with nature. Mountains and forests are not meant to be conquered, but respected. Tengu embody that philosophy. Punishing those who violate natural and moral boundaries. From a psychological perspective, Tengu represent the shadow side of humanity. The part driven by ego, ambition, and the desire for superiority. The long nose is not merely a physical trait, but a metaphor for unchecked self-importance. When humans fail to restrain this aspect, they become what they fear most. Even today, Tengu remain present in Japanese popular culture, appearing in festivals, manga, and films. Yet beneath their modern portrayals, the original meaning endures. A timeless warning that power and intelligence without humility inevitably lead to ruin. If you ever walk through a mountain forest in Japan and feel as though something is watching you from above, it may simply be your imagination, but in ancient belief, that sensation is a sign that you have come too close to a boundary guarded by Tengu. And the question left by the legend of Tengu is not whether they truly exist. But whether, when faced with overwhelming power, you would choose humility or allow your ego to lead the way.